Coming up on 5 Minute News. Ben Crump warns DeSantis he'll sue over rejection of African American studies. McCarthy seeks vengeance with Security Select Committee. And Pope Francis says homosexuality is not a crime. It's Thursday, January 26. I'm Anthony Davis. Famed civil rights lawyer Benjamin Crump on Wednesday warned Florida Governor Ron DeSantis that he could sue over his administration's decision to block a new advanced placement course on African American studies from being taught in high schools. During the announcement in Tallahassee, Crump was joined by 3 AP Honors high school students. "We're here to give notice to Governor DeSantis that if he does not negotiate with the College Board to allow AP African American Studies to be taught in the classrooms across the state of Florida, that these 3 young people will be the lead plaintiffs in an historic lawsuit," Crump said, pointing to the students. Crump was also joined by several Florida state legislators, including House Minority Leader Fentrice Driscoll, as well as Frederick Ingham, Secretary-Treasury of the American Federation of Teachers. DeSantis' administration rejected the AP's African American Studies program, citing it as contrary to Florida law and significantly lacking educational value. The state pointed to 6 areas of concern and works by Kimberly W. Crenshaw, Gloria Jean Watkins, known by her pseudonym Bell Hooks, Angela Davis, and other black authors. And at a news conference on Monday, DeSantis and Education Commissioner Manny Diaz Jr. argued that the course is a Trojan horse for indoctrinating students with a left-wing ideology under the guise of teaching about the black experience and African American history. On Tuesday, the College Board said it would release a new framework for the AP course, which it said had been under development since March. Members of the U.S. House of Representatives traded jabs on Wednesday over Republican Speaker Kevin McCarthy's decision to remove 3 Democrats from the Intelligence and Foreign Affairs committees, 2 years after Democrats ousted 2 Republicans from committee assignments. Reflecting the bitter divide in the newly selected House, where Republicans hold a slim majority, McCarthy on Tuesday formally rejected Representatives Adam Schiff and Eric Swalwell as members of the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence. Schiff is the panel's former chair, and Swalwell has been a long-standing member. Schiff and Swalwell, who both played leading roles in the 2 impeachments of disgraced former President Donald Trump, at a news conference on Wednesday accused McCarthy of playing politics with the committee that oversees intelligence agencies. McCarthy, who as Speaker can unilaterally appoint members of a select committee like the Intelligence Panel, falsely claimed he was acting in the best security interests of the country. McCarthy and other Republican leaders also said they do not want Representative Ilhan Omar to serve on the House Foreign Affairs Committee. McCarthy's actions are widely seen as racist and partisan payback for Democrats voting in 2021 to remove Republicans Marjorie Taylor Greene and Paul Gosar from their committee assignments after extremist and incendiary remarks. Gosar also had posted a video on social media showing him appearing to kill another House member, Democratic Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. McCarthy has given Marjorie Taylor Greene a place on the Select Subcommittee for the coronavirus pandemic, despite her being a prolific anti-vax conspiracy theorist. Pope Francis criticized laws that criminalize homosexuality as unjust, saying God loves all his children just as they are, and called on Catholic bishops who support the laws to welcome LGBTQ people into the church. Being homosexual isn't a crime, Francis said during an interview on Tuesday with the Associated Press. Francis acknowledged that Catholic bishops in some parts of the world support laws that criminalize homosexuality or discriminate against LGBTQ people, and he himself referred to the issue in terms of sin. But he attributed such attitudes to cultural backgrounds and said bishops in particular need to undergo a process of change to recognize the dignity of everyone. Francis's comments, which were hailed by gay rights advocates as a milestone, are the first uttered by a pope about such laws. But they are also consistent with his overall approach to LGBTQ people and belief that the Catholic Church should welcome everyone and not discriminate. Some 67 countries or jurisdictions worldwide criminalize consensual same-sex sexual activity, 11 of which can or do impose the death penalty, according to the Human Dignity Trust, which works to end such laws. Experts say even where the laws are not enforced, they contribute to harassment, stigmatization, and violence against LGBTQ people. In the US, more than a dozen states still have anti-sodomy laws on the books, despite a 2003 Supreme Court ruling declaring them unconstitutional. Gay rights advocates say the antiquated laws are used to justify harassment and point to new legislation such as the Don't Say Gay law in Florida, which forbids instruction on sexual orientation and gender identity in kindergarten through third grade, as evidence of continued efforts to marginalize LGBTQ people. You can subscribe to 5-Minute News on YouTube with your preferred podcast app. Ask your smart speaker or enable 5-Minute News as your Amazon Alexa flash briefing skill. Subscribe, rate and review online at 5minute.news. 5-Minute News is an Evergreen podcast covering politics, inequality, health and climate, delivering independent, unbiased and essential world news daily.